All right, so today we're gonna dive into SMM panels.
Okay.
And we're gonna really get into why they matter, especially for like authors and book releases,
Yeah.
and like the Redab article kind of outlines some of the strategies.
Right. Yeah. And think about it this way. Like, if you're an author, you've poured your heart and soul into this book, but how do you get it noticed
Oh my God.
in this huge sea of social media?
It's impossible, especially if you're a new author. It's got to
Yeah.
feel like you're just like shouting into the void.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where do these SMM panels come in?
Well, one of the articles that we have actually mentions that they can even like push books into trending topics, which is
Oh, really?
pretty crazy, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. But basically, they're just like online platforms where you can like purchase a bunch of different social media services
Huh.
like followers, likes, comments, you name it.
Okay, so it's like a one-stop shop for all your social media needs.
Right.
But isn't that stuff like against the rules on places like Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah, it can be.
Oh, okay.
It really depends, and that's why it's important to understand the specific rules of each platform.
Mm-hmm.
We have an article here called SM Panels, Benefits, Risks, and Safe Usage Strategies
Okay.
that really digs into that.
Okay.
Some panels offer services that just blatantly violate the rules, and that can lead to account suspension or even worse.
Oh, no. So how do you pick like a good one that's not going to get you in trouble?
Research, research, research.
Okay.
Look for panels with a good track record, positive reviews,
Mm-hmm.
especially from other authors in your genre.
Okay.
What is a social media marketing panel? That article really stresses finding a panel that, aligns with your ethical considerations
Okay.
and that they offer high-quality engagement and not just, empty numbers.
Right. So you want to avoid those fake accounts and bots.
Exactly.
That's so important.
Yeah, and a good panel will offer, like, really targeted services so you can reach the right readers for you.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's say you wrote a historical fiction novel.
Okay.
You could specifically target history buffs
Interesting.
or, like, book clubs that focus on that specific era.
Wow, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's like precision marketing for your book.
Exactly.
And speaking of reaching readers, the Redav article talks about how cost-effective SMM panels can be, especially compared to traditional advertising.
Yeah,
Like for authors on a budget, especially self-published authors, that's a big deal.
definitely. And it's not just about saving money. It's also about saving time.
Oh, right.
Think about it. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out all the crazy algorithms on all these different social media platforms,
Oh, totally.
you can just use a panel to, like, automate some of that stuff. And that would free you up to, focus on what really matters.
Yeah.
Writing and connecting with your readers in, like, real, authentic ways.
Right, like actually doing the things that you love
Exactly.
instead of, trying to game the system.
Yeah.
But okay, we've talked a lot about the good stuff, but
Yeah.
let's be real for a second.
Okay.
What about the risks? You mentioned account suspension earlier.
Yeah.
What else should people watch out for?
Well, other M panels, benefits, risks, and safe usage strategies. That article also talks about the potential downsides.
Okay.
One of the big ones is data security.
Mm-hmm.
When you share your login information with any third-party service, it's always a risk.
Right.
And SMM panels are no exception.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, so how do you stay safe? How do you use these things without putting yourself at risk?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, first of all, never share your primary account password.
Okay.
Look for panels that offer, like, secure authentication methods,
Mm-hmm.
like two-factor authentication.
Okay.
And be careful about panels that want access to your personal social media accounts that aren't directly related to your book.
Okay, so it's like setting boundaries
Yeah, exactly.
and being
Right.
careful about what you share.
Exactly.
What are some other red flags? Like, how do you know if a panel is shady?
Well, one of the biggest red flags is really low prices.
Okay.
If it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Right.
Like, reputable panels, they invest in quality infrastructure and ethical practices, and that's reflected in their pricing.
So you're saying it's worth paying a little bit more
Yeah, for peace of mind.
for quality, for security?
Yeah, and to know that you're not engaging in any shady tactics.
Right, because that could ultimately backfire.
Exactly.
So, okay, what about the results themselves?
Right.
How do you know if the engagement you're getting is actually genuine?
That's a great question. One of the telltale signs of fake engagement is a sudden unnatural spike in followers or likes.
Oh, okay.
Like, authentic growth is gradual and organic.
It's natural. It makes sense.
Exactly. And a good SMM panel will understand that.
Okay.
They'll focus on delivering high-quality engagement from real people
Yeah.
who are actually interested in your book.
So it's not just about the numbers. It's
Yeah.
about building a community of engaged readers
Right.
who actually want to connect with your work
Exactly.
and who might become like long-term fans. But
Exactly.
how do you make sure that happens?
All right.
How do you avoid falling into the trap of using these panels as a crutch instead of like a supplement to your overall marketing efforts?
Yeah, strategy is key.
Okay.
And this is where I think the What is a Social Media Marketing Panel article really shines.
Okay.
They emphasize using these panels as part of a bigger picture,
Okay.
not a replacement for genuine connection and good content.
Right. So it's like you said before, it's about amplifying what's already there,
Exactly.
not trying to create something out of nothing.
Right.
So it's like using these services strategically
Yeah,
to kind of boost your existing efforts,
exactly.
not like a magic bullet to success.
Yeah, it's not a shortcut.
Exactly.
It's a tool
Yeah.
in your arsenal.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So, for example, you might use a panel to boost the visibility of a blog post or like a book excerpt that you've shared on social media.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that can help attract new readers organically.
Right. So it's like giving it a little nudge. Okay,
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
A little boost. Like just giving your content that extra little push,
Right.
to get it out there.
Yeah, it's kind of like using a megaphone to project your voice to a larger audience.
Ooh, I like that.
It doesn't change the content of your message.
Right.
It just makes it louder.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaker of amplifying your message,
Yeah.
the Redev article mentioned something called lookalike audiences.
Yes.
What are those?
Okay, so lookalike audiences are a great way to kind of expand your reach.
Okay.
You basically give the SMM panel information about your current audience,
Okay.
like demographics, interests,
Mm-hmm.
and then they use that to find similar users who might also be into your book.
So it's like finding your ideal reader's twill.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a way to tap into new markets
Okay.
and find readers who might not have discovered you otherwise.
That's really cool. So it's
Yeah.
all about refining your targeting,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that your budget is being used effectively.
Exactly. And another important thing is to actually monitor your results.
Okay.
Like, don't just set it and forget it.
Right.
Pay attention to the data.
Okay.
Track your engagement metrics
Mm-hmm.
and see what's working and what's not.
So it's about being data-driven
Yeah,
and constantly adjusting your approach.
exactly.
Okay.
The What is a Social Media Marketing Panel article actually talks about A/B testing with different strategies.
Okay.
So you can experiment with like different targeting options, different types of posts,
Oh, interesting.
even the timing of your post to see what works best for you.
So it's like constantly optimizing.
Yeah, just like any other marketing channel.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
So speaking of other channels,
Right.
how do M panels fit into like a bigger book marketing strategy?
Yeah, they shouldn't be your only tool.
Okay.
Think of it as one piece of the puzzle
Okay.
that includes things like email marketing, content creation,
Mm-hmm.
author website, networking, all that good stuff.
So it's like a whole orchestra of marketing efforts
Exactly.
that all work together.
Yeah, and they all contribute to your overall goal,
Which is,
which is building those strong connections with your readers.
right, building your audience.
Yeah.
But for someone who's just starting out,
Yeah.
it can be overwhelming.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Where do you even begin?
Well, the most important thing is to focus on creating really high-quality content
Okay.
that actually connects with your target audience.
Okay.
Like, your book is your best marketing tool.
Right.
Make sure it's the best it can be.
Right. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
no amount of social media marketing can make up for a bad book.
Exactly. And once you have that strong foundation of quality content,
Mm-hmm.
then you can start thinking about amplifying its reach
Okay.
through all these different channels,
Right.
including MM panels.
So start with the core,
Yeah.
the book itself, and build outward.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
See what works for you.
Hmm.
There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
That's good. It's empowering.
It is.
It means that you have the control to create your own path.
Yeah. And as you learn and grow,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get a better understanding of what works best for you and your audience.
So it's a constant process of learning and adapting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there like resources out there to help authors?
Oh, yeah. Tons. There are online communities, courses, books
Okay.
dedicated to like helping authors master book marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And don't underestimate the power of networking.
Right.
Connect with other authors.
Okay.
Learn from their experience.
Yeah, learn from each other.
Exactly.
Okay, so community is really important.
Yeah.
And speaking of community,
Yeah.
let's talk about the ethics of using these panels.
Right.
That was something that came up in one of the articles we read.
Yeah, the What is a Social Media Marketing Panel article
Okay.
mentioned the importance of being transparent and authentic.
So it's not just about following the rules of the platform.
Right. It's also about being upfront with your audience,
Yeah.
about the methods you're using.
So if you're using an SMM panel,
Yeah.
be honest about it.
Be honest. Be transparent.
Don't try to hide it.
Don't try to pass it off as something it's not,
Right.
because ultimately it's about building trust
Yeah.
with your readers.
If they think they're being shady or dishonest,
Yeah.
that can hurt you in the long run.
It can damage your credibility.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like any relationship. Trust is key.
Trust is the
It
foundation.
is.
And that leads us to another important point.
Okay.
Avoiding those shady scent panels
Right.
that promise you the world but don't deliver.
Exactly. We touched on this earlier, but
Yeah, it's worth repeating.
it is.
So remind us about the red flags.
Okay, so red flag number 1,
Okay,
super low prices.
yeah.
If it seems too good to be true,
It probably is.
it probably is.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Reputable SM panels, they charge a fair price.
Right, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
Another red flag.
Yeah. Lack of transparency about their methods.
Mm-hmm.
If they're vague about where their followers are coming from, where their engagement's coming from.
That's not a good sign.
Red flag, run away.
Abort mission.
Yes. And finally, pay attention to user reviews,
Okay.
testimonials.
Word of mouth is so important.
It is, especially online.
Especially in this world.
Exactly. And you can always reach out to other authors or industry experts
Mm,
for recommendations.
Yeah.
There's a whole community out there willing to help.
it's all about collaboration and sharing knowledge.
It is.
So, okay, we've talked about the benefits. We've talked about the risks.
The ethics.
The ethical considerations.
Yeah.
We've talked about strategy.
Yeah.
But I think there's one thing we haven't talked about enough.
No, wait, that.
The human end.
Oh, yes.
We've gotten so into the technical aspects, but at the end of the day,
Oh,
this is all about connecting with people.
Yes. Absolutely. Behind every like and comment and follow
Mm-hmm.
is a real person
Right.
with their own interests and preferences.
And as authors, we can't forget that.
we can't.
It's so easy to get caught up in the numbers.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that we're building relationships
Yes.
with actual human beings.
It's about fostering community.
Yeah.
Having conversations, making connections.
And that's something no SMM panel can do for you.
That's right.
That's on you,
It is.
the author, to
Mhm.
create those connections.
Yeah, SMM panels can be a powerful tool
Right.
for amplifying your reach and attracting new readers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your authenticity, your voice,
Right.
your connection with your readers
Your
that
personality.
will really determine your success.
It's about being real.
It is.
Like, we're not just dealing with, numbers on a screen.
Right.
These are real people.
Real people.
Who love books and stories.
Exactly. And that brings us to something that one of the articles mentioned,
Okay.
using these MM panels strategically.
Okay.
Not just to, like, boost your numbers,
Right.
but to encourage actual engagement.
Yeah. Because ultimately, you don't just want followers. You
Yeah.
want readers.
You want readers, exactly.
So how can you use these panels to get people talking, get people excited about your book?
Right. Well, what is a social media marketing panel article? Had some good advice,
Okay.
like promoting giveaways or contests.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, something to get people interacting.
Right, because that's exciting.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel forced or fake.
Okay, what else? What are some other creative ways to use these panels?
You can also target readers who are already following authors or genres similar to yours.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so you're tapping into these existing communities.
Right, like you're finding your people.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and then once you found them,
Okay.
how do you keep them engaged?
Right, because that's the challenge.
That is the challenge, and that's where good content comes in.
Okay, so what kind of content are we talking about?
Well, share excerpts from your book,
Okay.
behind-the-scenes stuff about your writing process,
Mm-hmm.
or even just personal anecdotes.
Okay.
Just something to give people a glimpse into who you are.
So it's all about being relatable.
Yeah.
And giving people something they actually care about.
Exactly.
Not just like, buy my book
Right.
all the time.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
Respond to comments, get
Mhm.
involved in conversations.
Be a part of the community.
Exactly, because the more engaged you are,
Yeah.
the more engaged your readers will be.
It's a two-way street.
It is.
So it really is all about building those relationships.
It is.
And creating a community around your work.
Exactly. And as your community grows,
Yeah.
so will your influence.
But it's a win-win.
It is. It's a beautiful cycle.
Okay, so it sounds like panels can be a really useful tool,
They can.
but only if they're used thoughtfully and ethically. It's about finding that balance, between automation and authenticity.
Exactly. It's about using these services to enhance what you're already doing.
Right, not to try to replace actual human connection.
Right. And never forget that behind every profile
Mm-hmm.
is a
A
person
real person
who loves stories.
who wants to connect.
Yeah, so write those incredible stories.
Yes.
And connect with your readers.
Build those relationships.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It really has. We've learned so much.
We have.
About panels.
About the benefits, the risks,
the ethical stuff.
the strategy.
It's been a lot, but ultimately the power is in your hands.
It is.
Do your research,
Yeah.
be authentic,
Thank you, Win.
write amazing stories,
Yes.
and connect with your readers.
Exactly.
Until next time, happy writing, everyone.